Leo Bray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. Please visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out our class schedule. We have classes every day on Zoom. And to visit the tip jar where you can make contributions to support these classes. And we'll start out today from Morning Flow, which is going to focus a lot on opening and wringing out the hips. We'll start in a reclined posture. It's one of our common opening postures with the soles of the feet together. So you might want to push your feet together, then lie on your back. Some folks prefer to lie down on the back and then bring their feet together with knees splayed apart. Now, if this is too much, if it doesn't feel good anywhere, you could instead rest the soles of your feet on the floor, let your knees lean in towards each other. If you do go with the splayed knees, you might put blocks or other props between the outside of your legs and the floor to take the weight of your legs and make the posture more passive. So it is largely a passive posture, but it's some pretty active opening in the hips here, even though it's a restful position. You could rest your hands on the floor or rest your hands on your body, however you like, maybe feeling your breath, feeling your heartbeat. One hand for each is what I often go with, like this. If you like, you can close your eyes. Notice your breathing. Give it some time as you settle into your comfortable stillness to slow down and get deeper. Taking in the movements of your breathing and the way that they feel, the way the movements of your breath shift your body around, changing your contact with the ground. Nice supportive grounding contact helps the breathing slow down, helping muscles to relax as the body settles against the support beneath it. Scan your body to take in whatever else might be going on for you as we start today. Noting the good and the bad, but particular note of the bad, not to overly focus on the negative, but to take care of any issues. So as you scan your body, if you detect any stiffness or soreness, by making mental notes at the start of practice of these things, you can keep them in mind as we go along, knowing that you are always welcome to skip or modify any part of practice. And whenever your mind wanders, as it inevitably will for any of us, gently redirect, come back to noticing your breathing and noticing what's going on in your body to take care of yourself and find your practice today. If in addition to these shared intentions, there's any other intention you wish to set for yourself, you can go ahead and do that now. Let that sink in over the next few breaths. And let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. If you do have your feet together and your knees splayed open, bring your hands to the outsides of your knees. Let your arms nudge your knees towards each other, letting the soles of your feet come to rest on the mat. And let's move the blocks out of the way. Draw your knees up towards your chests. And hug your knees and rock and roll on your back a bit. Go side to side or make circles, massaging your back against the ground. Extend your left leg down along the floor. Reach your right arm out to the side, keeping your shoulders grounded. Draw your knee over to the left and turn your head to the right. Come slowly back to center. Draw your left knee in. Extend and lower your right leg and your left arm. Draw your knee over to the right and turn your head to the left. Come back up to center. Draw both knees in. And start to rock front to back. Roll your spine along the floor, rocking up towards the seat. If this doesn't feel good on your back or anywhere else, you can just tip onto one side, press your hand to the floor to sit yourself up. Find a comfortable seated position. It doesn't have to look like my seated position here. Feel your contact with the ground. Think about the length of your spine so you're sitting tall, but not rigid or stiff. Bring your hands out to the sides and rest your fingertips, just the fingertips, to stay tall. Inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, let your arm drape over your head. Let the weight of your arm just gently draw your head to the left. If you like, you can raise your right hand just a little and reach out through those fingertips to lengthen the right side of your neck, the right trapezius muscle. If your right hand's raised, let it come down. Allow your neck to remain passive. Let your left hand slide across your head, then come down to your cheek and use your arm to nudge your head back to center. Let the left hand down. Inhale, raise your right arm. Exhale, let it drape over. Then gently draw your head to the right. If you like, extend out through your left fingertips. Breathe into the left side of your neck. Let your left hand down. Let your neck stay relaxed. Right hand slides over, slides down, and nudges your head back up to center. Let that hand down. Walk your left hand out behind you. Bring your right hand over to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up, press into the floor with your left hand. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. Check that out with each breath. Feel the lengthening as you breathe in. Invite a deeper twist as you breathe out. Let yourself unwind, come back to center. Walk your right hand behind you, bring your left hand across. Inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, twist some more. Let yourself unwind, come back through center. Let's pick up the leg that's in front of the other one. Support the leg with your arm. Take the opposite hand and interlace your fingers between your toes. Let the foot hang limp, let the ankle be loose, and let your arm do the work of making some slow, gentle circles with your foot. Taking a few in each direction. And we'll do similar circle for the hip now. Release the toes, use both arms to cradle the weight of the entire leg, whatever grip works for you. And make circles rocking your femur in your hip socket. Maybe like rocking a puppy, kitten, or a baby in your arms. Change direction at some point. Switch legs. Support the weight of your lower leg. Grab your toes. Make those slow, gentle circles for your ankle. A few times in each direction. Release your toes. Support the weight of the entire leg and make those bigger circles. Change direction. Let your leg down. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. Get there however you like. Take your time. Hips above your knees. Shoulders above your wrists or behind your wrists a bit if it's too much on your wrists to have your shoulders right above them. Reach back with your left foot, press the ball of your foot against the floor and take a couple breaths. Let that leg lengthen. Relax the pressure on your foot and sweep it out to the side so your foot's in line with your hip. I'm going to start a rocking motion. A little goes a long way. Be mindful of the sensation here on the inner thigh of the extended leg. Exhale, sit back a bit. Inhale, glide forward. And just feel into how much of that seems sufficient for you. Stop if anything hurts. It's okay to gently probe against resistance and extend your comfort zone. And pause next time you come forward. Walk your hands out further. And let your head come down between your arms. It's like downward dog for the upper body. And walk your hands over to the right. Maybe a foot, maybe a little more. Push against your hands. Send your right hip a couple inches towards your right heel. A lot of stretching, but not a lot of movement. Slowly walk your hands back to center line, then back in towards your shoulders. Swing your foot back behind, bring your knee down. Let's take a few cow cat breaths. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale to bring your heart up and let your head and tailbone come back down. Then come back to table, reach back, press into the ball of your right foot. Ease off, swing your foot out to the side. Start to explore your rocking. Exhale, sit back a little. Inhale, come forward. We store excess tension and energetic things in the hip region. Most folks have some awareness around storing stress and tension in the neck and shoulders. There's probably just as much in the hips. And I think those who practice yoga get an awareness about it. Those who don't often have no idea of how much stuff is stuck in their hips. And we get to wring it out. We get to shed that stuff, create more space inside, more space to move, more space to breathe, to hold things and process things. Pause the rocking, walk your hands forward, let your head come down again, scoot your hands over to the left, and give that push against the floor with your hands. Walk your hands back to center, and then back in. Slide your foot back behind, bring your knee down, take your cows and cats. And we'll start to step to a forward fold. You could put blocks under your hands here to ease the transition if you like. Step your left foot up between your hands and step your right foot up to meet it. Hang out, swaying back and forth. Heavy head, heavy arms. Bend one leg, then the other. Your hands might hang in the air or drag on the ground. Or clasp your elbows. Maybe clasp behind your head at the base of your skull. Give yourself some neck traction. If your hands are doing something else, let them hang down again. Gently shake your head no. And nod your head yes. And now lift up halfway. Press your hands to the shins. Feel the crown of your head move forward away from your tailbone. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll to standing, hands up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Tend your fingers, step back with your left foot, runner's lunge. And then inhale, reach forward, reach up. Come to crescent lunge, higher lunge. If the high lunge is too much at any point, you could always drop the back knee down, maybe uncurl the back toes and do a lower lunge instead. And the rest can be the same. Exhale, sink forward in your hips, lower your arms. Inhale, glide back and reach up. So with the knee on the ground, you can do the same hip motion, same arm motion, and wherever that knee is, the movement in your legs can be as small or as big as you like. So how does it feel in your legs? How does it feel in your hips? How does it feel in your knees? There's a lot of work here in the legs. At the top of the movement, let's twist first to the left. Left hand back, right hand forward. And come through center with your hands by your heart. And twist to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Come back through center, hands by your heart. Bring your hands down. And step your right foot back to meet your left. Downward dog, pedal your feet up and down. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to come down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale down. Rest your fingertips on the floor. Step your right foot back. Find your runner's lunge. When you're ready, inhaling, reach forward and up. Find your crescent lunge. Drop down to the lower lunge anytime. Exhale, sink forward, lower your arms. Inhale, glide back and reach up. Follow your own breath. We don't have to go at the same pace. Twist to the right. Come back through center and twist to the left. Come back through center. Bring your hands down. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Nod your head. Shake your head. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale down. Place your hands and step back to plank. Hips coming down in line with your shoulders and your knees. Drop your knees anytime you're in plank if you like. Exhale, lower, maybe all the way down, maybe halfway. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Whatever height works in your lower back. Exhale, back and up to downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale down. Step back to your plank. When you're ready, exhaling, lower. Inhaling, bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up. Inhale, lift your left leg up high behind you. Bend your knee. Stack your hips, left hip above right. Flex your foot and make a couple circles with your knee in each direction. Or if you like, you could flip your dog here. If you're flipped, gently flip back. Square your hip down. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, reach your leg high. Exhale, draw your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, reach your leg high. Exhale, draw your knee towards your chest. Send your foot over to the right side. Rest the outer edge of your foot on the floor. If you want to go further from here, bring your right hand in towards your heart and on up towards the ceiling. Maybe look up at your hand. If your right hand is raised, exhaling, bring it down. Draw your knee back to center. Reach your leg up high. And we'll come to pigeon pose. Exhaling, draw your knee towards your left wrist, your ankle towards your right wrist. Let the lower leg land. Let the right knee down. Uncurl your right toes. Look back at your right leg to ensure it's in line with your hip, not going off to one side. I like to go up before I go down here. Press into your hands, maybe even tent your fingertips. Lift your chin, lift your chest. Exhale, release downward, forward. Walk your hands forward. You might come to blocks here, under your hands or under your forearms. And just surrender to breathing and gravity, allowing time and space for your hips to open. And allowing room for adjustments as your hips open and settle. Maybe this right knee walks back. Maybe elbows keep scooting forward. Maybe your head comes right down to the floor. Maybe comes to a block or rests on your hands or your arms. And just see what happens. Hang out here for a minute. See what your hips need. So we're not pressing them downward. We're just letting gravity do the work, aided by the action of the breath and the posture. You might think of inhaling things you need and exhaling things you don't. Only you know what those things might be. Thinking of what no longer serves you as you exhale can help to shed things energetically, clear things out. And we'll start to come out slowly. Start to walk your elbows in closer. Make your way up onto your hands. Lift your head and chest again. Get tall, get long. If you want to explore a bind here, you can bend that right leg, reach back, maybe take hold of foot, ankle, pant leg. You can also do this with a strap if you can't quite reach and connect. And you could do this with either hand. I like to use the opposite hand. Some people like to use the same side. Release the bind. Plant your hand. Plant and engage your foot to engage your leg. Press into your hands. Big inhale. Lift your left leg back up behind. Bend your knee. Stack your hips. Flex your foot to make those circles with your knee. Mechanically, pigeon pose does great things for the hip joint, but it pinches your femoral artery. This movement here helps speed the blood flow back in there. Square your hips down, lower your leg. Inhale, lift both heels, maybe come onto your toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Bend your knee, stack your hips, flex your foot and circle your knee, or if you like, flip your dog. If you flip gently, flip back. Square your hip down. Exhale, draw your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your chest. Send your foot over to the left. If you like, reach your left hand in, then up, and maybe look up towards your hand. If your hand's raised, exhaling, bring it down. Draw your knee to center, reach your leg up behind. And as you exhale, slowly draw your leg forward, setting up pigeon on the other side. Taking your time, letting the back knee down, uncurling the back toes, checking the alignment of the back leg. Inhale, open up, lift up. Exhale, melt forward and down. Surrender. No goal, just exploring. Take your time to start coming out, bringing your elbows in closer, getting your hands planted, lengthening arms, lifting head and chest. If you like, bend your left leg and see about that bind. Very deep quad stretch here. Release, plant your hand, plant your foot. Big inhale, reach back up to one more. Three-legged dog. Bend your knee, stack your hips, flex your foot, and circle your knee.
Square your hip down, lower your leg. Inhale, lift your heels. Pardon me. Exhale, lower your heel. Lower your knees. Cross your ankles. Walk your hands in towards your knees. And you might roll over your ankles to come to a seat or tip onto one hip and spin your legs around. We'll all end up sitting up with our legs extended and feet flexed back towards us. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Use your breath to see about deepening the fold. If your knees want to bend, they can bend. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. As you exhale, think of lowering down some more. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit yourself up. Bring the soles of your feet together, leaving a big space between your heels and your pelvis. And grab the mat, either reach under your ankles or over your ankles, and walk your hands forward on the mat. As you come down into your pretzel shape, let your neck disengage, head hang low, and breathe into your lower back. Slowly start to walk your hands back and press your torso upright. Keep your feet together, bring them in as close as you can. Interlace your fingers, grab your toes in your hands. Wriggle on your seat, shift the bones closer to the floor, tilt your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, spine long. See how far that'll go with the long spine. And when the long spine isn't lowering, let your head come down again. Breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit yourself up. Use your arms to lift your knees towards each other. Rest your feet on the floor. Rest your hands on the floor.
out past your hips. Wiggle your feet out towards the edges of the mat. Let your knees go back and forth. As your knees go down to one side, you can turn your head to the other side. If you want to explore a bigger movement, you might, as your knees go down to the left, reach your right hand and right hip up. It's kind of like that flip your dog that we sometimes do from three-legged dog. But it's a little more accessible than flipping your dog. Doesn't have that element of the landing, the little leap of faith as you tip over. It's a nice sort of tour of the space that we opened in the hips. Let's come down onto our backs for a counter pose. For the work we did in pigeon, we'll explore fish pose. So lie flat. Zip your feet and legs together. Fish pose is a funny one if you haven't done it before, but I'll talk you through it. You'll be fine. Lift your left hip, slide your hand under your butt, palm down, and sit on the back of your hand. That's kind of the funny part. And then lift the other hip, slide the right hand under, settle down so you wind up sitting on the backs of both your hands. How often do you do that? Still zipping your feet and legs together. Now walk your elbows slowly in towards each other, bit by bit. And you'll end up lifting most or all of your back off the floor and putting your weight in your forearms. It makes your talk funny. Then lift your head and your chest. And then keeping your shoulders lifted here, let your head slowly and gently tip back. You want to just find the floor with the crown of your head. Maybe you just feel your hair touch down. Don't really want to put weight on your neck here. Just let it rest. We'll take some big breaths. On the exhales, release any sound that seems to want to emerge. Take a few more. Being on Zoom can be a great advantage here because a lot of people are self-conscious about making noise when they practice with others. If you're in the studio, some people freely just make all sorts of noise. Some people are shy about it. You're at home, you're muted. Maybe you're watching later on YouTube. Nobody can hear you. Make whatever weird noise you want. Just as things get stuck in the hips, things get stuck in the neck and shoulders, things get stuck in your throat. Let them out. Taking your time to come out just as we came in, nice and slowly. Lift your head all the way forward. Bring your chin right to rest on your chest. And then let your shoulders down. This makes you talk funny too. Then let your head down. We do all this to protect the neck. Lift each cheek, free up each hand. If your hands went a little numb, shake them around, bang them on the floor to wake them up. And then just pause there. Draw your knees towards your chest and hug your knees. And rock and roll on your back, massage it against the floor. And for our final twists, we'll go deep, taking advantage of how much we've opened the hips here. Let your feet down to the floor, then cross your left knee
over your right knee. Now, if you can't do that, it's okay too to cross your left ankle over your right knee instead. Reach your arms out to the sides. See if you can keep your shoulders grounded. Let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Now, if you want to intentionally go even deeper here, you could try a couple of things. You could extend the top leg. You could also bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee and help draw the legs over more if you like. Slowly come back up to center and switch the cross of your legs. Cross your right knee over your left knee or your right ankle over your left knee. If knee over knee is not working for you today, let your legs fall to the left and turn your head to the right. If you like, play with extending your right leg or maybe bringing your left hand to that right knee to draw the knee over more, down more. Slowly come back to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Reach your feet towards the ceiling. Reach your hands up. Take hold of your legs or your feet any way you want. Play with bending and straightening your limbs. Happy baby pose. If there's some other inversion you prefer to do, go ahead and do it. There's no wrong way to explore movement. Whatever movement feels good for you here. Your legs and your feet are higher than your heart, and that's the main point of inversions like this. And play with inverting for as long as you like. When you feel complete, you can make your way to Shavasana, the final resting pose of your choice. Maybe it's like this corpse pose with your legs extended and your feet splayed open and your hands resting out past your hips. But it's more important to be comfortable than it is to be in this posture. So get comfortable. You can lie quietly, breathing and integrating the benefits of your practice in any posture that's comfortable for you. As your breathing slows down and gets deeper again, maybe you just focus on that. Maybe you reflect upon an intention you had set for yourself. Or maybe you just set your mind free to wander. Start to find some deeper breaths. Invite small movements to return to your body. Let those movements lead to bigger and bigger movements. Gradually, slowly, mindfully. When you're ready for bigger movements, you can gently sit yourself up. You can bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing this practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within each of you. Namaste.